Dr. Fro brings the tunes, crank it up, don't be shy. The tracks of the future, hey, I drive by. Hey, drive by.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to a new episode of the AI Drive-By. I am Dr. Fro, and I am bringing you some of the latest sounds in the world of AI music. For our newest listeners, click subscribe, show your support, drop a comment, tell us if you like what we're doing. We'd love to hear from you. If you want to become a member of the Fro Music Movement and you want your name in the shout-outs, you got to check out our Patreon page at patreon.com/Fro Music. Sign up today, and there is a loyalty rewards program. Special opportunity, $10 a month contributor, you get to get an AI tune created for you by me that we will also put out on this show, and I will send you a copy of for your own keepsake and pleasure. Before we get to the music, make sure you send us your comments, your questions to our sound off line, 267-642-1160. Tell us anything you'd like me to discuss. If you have your own AI music that you'd like us to feature on the show, we'd be happy to do that. That's the place to go where we could try to make that happen for you. Here's the thing, right? AI music gets a bad rap all over the place. It doesn't matter where you go. And look, I got to be very clear. This podcast itself, the AI Drive-By, we went on a hiatus for a little while because the distribution platforms for podcasting, they get very frustrated if you do too much music and not enough conversation. They told me in the conversation that, oh, no, we don't want to do that. We don't want to have a show where all you do is showcase all this new music. Why not? If it's bringing in views and people are enjoying it, then let the people hear the new music. So we're going to change it up a little bit for this episode and for episodes going forward, and we're going to do it a little differently. What we're going to try to do is I'm going to speak to the talking points about the AI music and the generation, the promotion of such, and then I'm going to throw in pieces of AI music that I have been either given by listeners or of my own. For those who don't know, I am a diehard fan of the Suno platform. I know there's many platforms out there. Udio was another one. It was very big, and then there's all this conversation about litigation, legal situations coming up, popping up, lawsuits, mergers, corporate takeovers, all that kind of stuff. Personally, I don't care. I will find a way to work around it. Now, I will make this suggestion to all my Suno users out there because there was a lot of conversation right around December when the merger started having a conversation about a merger. You better download all your tracks. You're not going to be able to download your information anymore. Listen, if you're doing this to make something for yourself to just have general pleasure and enjoyment, then don't worry about it. If you're using the free plan, do what you got to do. Make the music, have a good time with it. It is a great stress reliever. I was actually talking to somebody the other day. I feel like sometimes doing this AI music, it's almost like therapy. You know, I could sit down, whatever emotions I'm having for the day, whatever I'm experiencing, I could put together a song, make me feel better about myself, and I could, when I need validation or I need to just hear back what I was feeling in a certain moment, I can do that. If you got a free account, do that. Now, me personally, I'm all about the deluxe account because I do want to own the rights. I want to own the copyright, and let me be very clear. I am not a person who plugs in prompts. I don't do prompt-made music. I don't go in and say, give me a song about, a garbage can and a head of lettuce with, a talking carrot and broccoli. Like, I don't do that. I write all of my own lyrics. I use a certain, somewhat templated approach to things. I know there's certain elements that I always want to make sure is in every song. I want my songs to be a certain length. I know when I first started using Suno, one of my biggest complaints was it was only like 3.5 minutes long, 4 minutes long per song, and that's not always enough time. And then you have to extend songs. That doesn't always work out real well. Now I love when we're in 5.5 because now I can get everything I need in any submission that I do. But my stuff, I always write my own lyrics because once you do, and I would encourage you, if you are doing AI music, to write your lyrics in something that gives you a day and time stamp. Once you have that, you can go, legally speaking, protect yourself. Heaven forbid anybody ever tries to claim that you stole their lyrics. You can defend that. You would have a literal digital copy. I'm a Google Docs kind of guy. I know Google seems to run the world right now, and everything in the world seems to be Google-driven. I get it, but they are wonderful for having a day and timestamp in the version histories of whatever you're storing your info in. So I go into my Google Docs, I have a template, I make a copy, and then I flesh out whatever it is that I'm putting together. And that's how I create most of my music. Beyond that, what I do use Suno for, because look, I wish I was musically talented like, the next great artist out there, but I'm just not. I wish I was. It's not my forte. It's not something that I'm good at. I don't have, a talent for playing a musical instrument of any kind or anything like that. So arranging the musical part is very difficult for me. I could put the words together all you want. I'm a published author. I write, historical fiction books and things of that nature. I am a doctor. When I call myself Dr. Fro, I do have a doctorate. I love writing, but I'm not great at arranging music. I don't always know that, I need a snare drum here and I need this there. So I see some of the things that people put into their Suno creations that are just unbelievable and super detailed, and I love that if that's your thing. Now me, I don't necessarily go as detailed as some people that I've seen there. Some people put in the beat count and all this kind of stuff. I have found great success and put together music that I'm very happy with. Without going overboard and going crazy. Now, look, I might spend more credits than some other people to get the exact sound that I'm looking for, but that's okay. I mean, that's part of the process. It's very enjoyable. Now, the other conversation piece is if you are going to be somebody who has a paid subscription and keep the copyright to your content, and the copyright only applies if you wrote the lyrics. If you gave a prompt, Suno, if you look in the fine print, Suno still retains the ability to distribute your songs that you create if you're a prompt-driven creator and let other people take your songs and make their own versions of it. And you have no say over that. Whereas if you create your own lyrics, there's a different level of copyright protection, especially with that digital thumbprinting, basically, using a Google Doc. So I would highly recommend that if you are somebody who is talented lyrically, to do that. And if you're not, look, feel free to go ahead, keep making your stuff. It's just, it's not going to be as protected as those of us who write our own stuff. And for the record, anybody who has content out there, if you have AI music that you want me to showcase on the show, I am happy to do that, whether it's prompted or not. You just got to let me know. If you send me a submission, give me a shout to the Fro Wrestling Sound Offline. Like I said earlier, 267-642-1160. Let me know what it is you want me to do. That'll get us in contact. We can exchange information so that I can get a copy of whatever song you want me to put out there. Give me the backstory on the song. What is it about? What made you want to write it? Things like that. I'm also always looking for talent that want to come on and do an interview on the show, be a guest on the show, and talk about their experiences with this AI programming and whatnot. So, and I don't care about styles. I myself, when I create the stuff that I create, it really comes in certain waves. I am either making something for me to use at the gym that's usually high-tempo, hard rock, or it's super lovey-dovey emotional stuff or whatever. A song for some specific person has some intent or purpose. I don't care if you're an opera fan. I don't care if you're somebody who likes stadium rock or hip-hop or whatever. I don't care. I'm not a genre freak where I'm like, oh, my God, I will only put your song on if it's like hard heavy metal, death rock. Like, no, I will put on anything you'd like, and I am happy to support any content creator who's creating AI music. That's something I feel like is a necessary thing for those of us who are out there trying to make this happen and trying to make these songs and really affect people in a positive way, give them something beautiful to listen to. Or you may have people out there who are just feeling a rage, man, and they need something to go hit the heavy bag, and they need some hard rock to do that, and we can make some of that. So tonight, I am going to jump in. Here's what I'm going to do. And this is how we're going to do this going forward. In the previous episodes, if you tuned in, the first 2 episodes I put up, the ones that got flagged and taken down, and the whole reason we went on hiatus to begin with, I would basically go on, introduce the song, explain why I wrote the song, and then play the whole song, and then come out and go into the next one to the next one. I did 2-3 songs an episode. I'm still going to do 2-3 songs an episode. I just can't play the whole thing. I will play about a 45-second clip of the song, give you a gist of what the song is about, whatnot, and then we'll go from there. And that way, hopefully, they don't flag me again and tell me that I'm putting too much music into my episodes and not enough talking. Podcast channels are just for talking. I don't know why anybody came up with that. If you can find a podcast that doesn't have any music in it, I question how successful they are. Not that I'm the genius of success. I'm not. I've got on my other channel, I have a channel, the Fro Wrestling Podcast. I'm a giant professional wrestling fan. I have like 90-some thousand views over there. That's not a whole lot in the grand scheme of things, but it's the most I've got. It's not why I do this. I don't do this for money. I don't do this for like grandeur or being famous. I do this to put some smiles on faces, and I hope that that's what I'm able to do for you tonight. What I'm going to share with you first is something that's very, very special to me. When I put these songs together, the things that I put together with Suno, with my lyrical patternistic writing and whatnot, everything has a purpose. And sometimes I think, for myself, for those, anybody who doesn't know anything about me, and a lot of my listeners probably don't because I don't talk about it a lot, like, personal relationships are an interesting thing. If you've lost somebody, I write a song about that. If I meet somebody and they're intriguing, I'll write a song about that. If I'm having a great day with my significant other, my beautiful wife, I'll write a song about that. If I'm having a horrible day, I'll write a song about it. Sometimes it's just missing my daughters, missing my son, my best friends, my cousin, my mom, my dad, whatever. I'll write a song about that. This song in particular is really something very special to me. I've written now, my catalog is about 115 songs deep. I take a lot of time for each one of them. I really put a lot of attention to detail in. And in the process of writing this was basically a song that I wrote to think about when you're in that relationship where you are so committed, but it doesn't always come through to the other person. You're in on them, but they're not necessarily feeling it, and you want them to feel it. You're doing everything you can to make sure that they feel it, that they can sense how you feel about them. But sometimes in this crazy world, there's that old book, Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus. Sometimes the significant other can't always know how you feel, what you're thinking, or whatever it is. This song is kind of encompasses some of that. So I'm going to play a little bit of it. Like I said, I'm going to go with 45-ish second snippets of songs instead of like this song is a 5-minute song. I can't play the whole thing or else they'll flag me and kick me off the podcasting network again. So at this point, we've talked for several minutes, so now that hopefully they'll get the point. But this song is called Body and Soul. And I'm very proud of it. I've shared it with a few people. It's available on my YouTube channel. Fro Music 76 is also available. Dr Fro Topic, because I, like many Suno creators, I use DistroKid to distribute my music. I know there's other distribution companies out there. I went with DistroKid from the beginning. I'm sure I'll probably investigate what else is out there later, but for now, that's what I use. So either one of those would you be able to find me on YouTube, Spotify, Pandora. I'm on all of them. But this song, Body and Soul, I have not released yet other than on the Fro Music 76 webpage because I'm waiting. I always wait till I have, 10, 11, 12 tracks to put into an album before I release it. This will be the title track of the next, let's call it an emotional album. This will be the title track. This is my favorite song I think I've done so far since tinkering around with this AI music stuff. So I'm going to share this with you. This is called Body and Soul, and I hope you like it.
So sad and lonely,
we're going to stop it there because if I keep it going much longer than that, they're going to flag me for something because, why wouldn't they? Why would anything be easy? I hope you like that. That is Body and Soul. That is my favorite song I think I've ever put together since doing this AI music thing. Absolutely going to be the title track on my next somewhat more emotional album. I hope you like that. Gonna change, code switch, whatever you want to talk about a little bit here. When I look at this stuff, I think sometimes when people look at their AI music, they get very pigeonholed. They get a vibe or a beat or some kind of sense about who they feel like their AI personality is. And I understand that. If you get something that sounds perfect, it's exactly the way you want it to be, it is very difficult to want to go away from that, to change things up a little bit. I have not had a lot of that issue. I'm starting to have that issue right now with Suno. Anybody who uses Suno knows that historically they used to have these basically it's like these voice covers, these I forget what they called them at the time, but now it's got a different label. Basically, if you want to have the same voice, the same stylistic approach, the same singer for your music, you can do that. And some people get like kind of pigeonholed into that. Now, I don't do that with most of my stuff. I've had a couple songs that I do that with, not a lot, but I would encourage you, depending on what your goal is in terms of AI music, if you are looking to create something that is just to listen to, who cares? If do whatever you want to do. If you're somebody who's trying to find a way to be creative with your music because you have that aspiration to someday maybe be able to perform your music, that's a little different story. If you can get something that sounds very similar to yourself, and let's be honest, there is a way to use Suno to try to capture your voice now into the program. And it's a little more complicated than I care to tinker around with. Instead, what I do is I go stylistically, try to find something that I feel like is similar. And if I have a song that I think someday I may want to try to, if I ever get the guts and cojones to go out there and try to make this happen, that I could try to sing, then I'll keep that as one of my themes. But otherwise, it's relatively unique each time, each submission, each song, each track. And they all have a different vibe. The next song I'm going to be jumping into is another one of my favorites, but it's one that I use at the gym. It's one high tempo. It's a rock song. There's some strong rock vocals. There's also some screaming in there because why not? Because it just added to it. It wasn't what I was going for when I first made the song either, but it was something I really, really enjoyed when I did make it. And I really hope that when you guys are creating the music that you create, you're thinking about the audience that you're appealing to. What types of music have you enjoyed? And whatever you're creating, is it symbolic or representative of the things that you like to listen to? Because if it is, and you were into something that there was a large following for, there's a possibility that other people will like the same things you like, which is then going to further your musical interests and possibilities of your song getting more airplay. Now, I will also say this. One of the things I have found out about Suno that is shocking to me is it does not matter how many streams you get on Suno. You get no cash no matter what for all the streaming on Suno. I've got thousands of listens on Suno, and I get nothing for that. You don't get paid unless you do something through like DistroKid, or if you get big enough and have your own YouTube channel. I would use DistroKid just because I have gotten paid for my songs. I'm not a big artist. I don't promote my stuff. I don't really make it for that. I don't make it to make a bunch of money, but there is an opportunity to make a little bit. So I pay to keep the copyright, and I pay, it's a couple bucks a year for DistroKid just to, get some distribution out there, but I don't promote it at all. Whatever happens is organic. If people find what I do and they like what I do, then they'll support the content, and that's all I could possibly ask for. If that's what you do, then run with it. But if you're actually looking to like promote your stuff, think about what you listen to, try to stylistically come up with stuff. And if you are looking to perform, save that voice for Suno and use that in future subsequent songs so that you don't have to try to reinvent the wheel every time you come up with a new song. And keep in mind, too, consistency is king. If you're going 3, 4, 5 months between song submissions, you can't possibly drum up enough business or audience if that's your goal. DistroKid, they put your stuff out there, and at the first launch, your initial launch is gonna blast out to anybody who's a subscriber. But once that goes away and they've listened to the song once, there's nothing that's pulling them back in unless you're putting out more content. So just remember to do that. Put out as much content as you can. The next song I'm going to jump to again, maybe 45, 50 seconds of it, is called Instrument of Justice. And this was This is just a hard rock track. I use it at the gym, and the whole purpose of the song, really, I was trying to be storyteller, man. When I was writing this, was basically related to like this person who is the person of reckoning for people who are oppressing other people. I don't know if it comes through like the way I wanted it to, but it's still, no matter whether it comes through or not, I love the beat, I love the sound, and I love using it at the gym to get myself pumped up. So I hope you like it. Like I said, this is called Instrument of Justice, and to be fully transparent, I had released this track early in my Suno career. However, with the different versions coming in, version 3, 5, 4, 4, 5, 5, 5, 5, this is a remastered version, because the most recent 5.5 version of Suno is so much better for some songs that I felt like it really made the song pop. So this is a remastered version of Instrument of Justice, and I hope you like it. And like I said, we'll listen about 30, 45 seconds of this, and in the comments, you'll have to tell me what you think of it. Here you go. This is Instrument of Justice.
Beneath your feet, the energy builds, refusing to concede. The intense nature of the intensifying sounds engulfing the vortex as you look all around. Controlling the hostile environment gets increasingly harder. Fatigue and exhaustion holds you back even further. The infantry poses a significant obstacle. Progressing forward with what is being methodical. Controlling the hostile environment gets increasingly harder. Fatigue and exhaustion hold you back even farther. The adversity poses a significant obstacle. Progressing forward requires being methodical. Parting the seas of the mind and misguided concern and fear past sensations of subsided. Also fed the call for rage intensifies. The quest lies ahead. The actions that justify harness the darkness and burn its fuel. The instrument of justice, an end to the cruel cat.
So that is Instrument of Justice. Again, I feel bad. I wish I had a fading feature here so I could just fade the thing out. Unfortunately, I just got to cut it off because, that's what this podcast distribution network uses in their software. So I apologize for that. If you would like to hear the rest of Instrument of Justice or any of the songs that I put out there, please, like I said, check out Fro Music 76 on YouTube or Dr Fro Topic, and you can find the majority of my stuff on Dr Fro Topic. The only stuff that won't be there is the most recently released stuff, because I save those until I get a full album's worth, and then I release the album. I hope this stuff is all worth it. I hope it's putting some smiles on faces. I hope you guys are enjoying what you're hearing. And like I said at the onset of the episode, if you are a content creator creating AI music, please reach out, get me your name, get me the name of the track, what the background on the story of the track is, and send me a link to the track or whatnot so I can get your content onto the show. I would love to be able to help showcase other aspiring talents out there. Look, the creativity is off the chain in 2026, man. Everybody in the world seems to be able to come up with some really interesting stuff. So I want to hear your creativity too. I love hearing great music. I don't care. I love all genres, so you're not gonna chase me away no matter what you send me. So please, by all means, feel free to do that. I also got to address, I love how now everybody and their brother seems to be looking at video and being able to take their Suno songs or other AI music-generated songs and put video to them. The problem for me is the cost. Like, I know there's some free ways to do it. I saw a way to actually use Suno to be able to do it if you have something, a very simple, basic track that wants to loop. There's a way to do that. You can get into that if you want to do a search on YouTube for a video on that. There's a way to do that where you basically go in and you change the title background picture and make it a video instead of a still photo. And you could put it up to 10 seconds long. And you could go in and you could prompt the whole thing to tell it exactly what you want to see in the video. And it costs, I think, 200 credits per submission. And then you can use that, pull that out, and then you got to put it into a video editing software where you just copy and paste it over and over and over again and put it out so it runs the length of the song. if that's what you want to do, go for it. I would like to actually have music videos, and the problem with that is that gets incredibly expensive. I mean, it's not just for my music. Like I said earlier, I'm a published author. I would love to be able to take AI video and be able to turn my books into full-length feature films, if possible, because I'm flat broke and can't afford to, go through a production company to put my stuff out in Hollywood. But it's very difficult. AI video is very expensive in most cases, and when it's not, it doesn't hit the same way. And it's basic stuff too. Like when you create a scene, say you have a 10, 15, 20 second, depending on the software you use, scene, you don't always get the exact same character in the next scene you create. So having a software that stores characters so that you could carry them through different scenes is that's a luxury. That's another pricey thing that can be added into your program. So if that's the case, I mean, that's something I'm looking for. So if you have a service you use that is free or, I'm gonna be honest, super low cost, put that in the comments. Let me know. And that's something I think other listeners would love to see and love to be able to use. We'd like to get real music videos. So like if you're a Suno creator, you could go into Suno and download the lyric video. Okay. Now, a couple things about that. One, you got to make sure, like, when you're prompting Suno with your lyrics, if you put in, like, this is the chorus, this is the verse, this is the bridge, this is a change up here, this is a certain beat per second, that kind of stuff. If you do all that, you got to delete all that stuff in the lyrics, the displayed lyrics, prior to downloading the video for the lyric video from Suno, if that's what you're going to use. And right now, I'll be honest with you, that's what I use for most of my stuff. Unless I have the time to make a lyric video, that's kind of what I use for most of my stuff. But if you don't take those things out, then the words don't sync up correctly. And sometimes the Suno brain doesn't know what to do with it, so it spits out your words and it doesn't line up correctly. So make sure you're cognizant of that you delete all those extra prompting things within the lyrics of whatever song you create. But otherwise, and then it boils down to making sure that, whatever video you have out there, if you're going to use a service, how good do the lips sync to the actual words within the song? That's also can be a luxury, a premium. Some, softwares I've seen, like it's almost cartoonish people and their mouths just open and close, and there's no affect to their faces, and there's no accentuation of different words and verbiages and things like that. And that could be something that it makes it so the overall quality of the video isn't what it could be. I love the gorillas in one of their videos, and I always thought that was great, and it was cartoonish and whatnot. But that's not what I want for all my Suno videos. You know what I mean? I want actual music videos, and that could be, like I said, quite pricey. I'm going to get to one last song tonight. For anybody who I'm just going to say it. There's a song, Black Betty, that, I mean, heaven forbid, my mom used to sing to me all the time when I was a kid. She'd joke around about it. And then Spiderbait actually re-released the song recently, a much more up-tempo, more like hard rockish version of Black Betty. And so I was listening to that. I was unaware of the Spiderbait version. I was listening to the original, what I thought was the original. And then I did some researching. I was deep diving into it. And I found out that Black Betty is actually in the public domain. It was released back in like the early 1920s. And I thought, well, listen, I don't want to do like a copy paste for like public domain songs. Theoretically, you could do that, which is kind of shady business if you ask me. However, I thought, what if I continue the story? What if I continue the story about Black Betty? And so I was trying to come up with a really corny story for Black Betty, and I did that. That's what the next song's going to be. It's called What'd You Say About Betty? And it's a continuation of Black Betty. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go to YouTube, look up Spiderbait Black Betty, or just look up Black Betty in general. Listen to that first, and then go to this. This is a continuation of the Black Betty story where basically you find out that Black Betty had a kid. The kid is uglier than sin, but the guy is a good guy. He's going to help take care of the baby. So the dad ran off, and now you need a new baby daddy, and she's going to find one because it made for the mood I was in the day that I made it. It just worked so well for it. So this song here is What'd You Say About Betty? Like I said, if you've never listened to Black Betty before, please go do that. I heavily encourage you to listen to the Spiderbait version. It's fantastic, very contemporary. But this is What'd You Say About Betty? This is my continuation of the story.
Whoa, Black Betty, bam-ba-lam. Whoa, Black Betty, bam-ba-lam. What'd you say, boy, bam-ba-lam? I said, what'd you say, boy, bam-ba-lam?
got to cut it off there, else, like I said, they're going to shut me down again. So I hope you enjoyed this episode of AI Drive-By with Dr. Fro. I have been looking forward to getting back to doing this for quite some time now. Like I said, they did shut me down for a hot minute because they said I had too much music in my episodes, and that's too much. We're a broadcasting service. We can't have that. So instead, we'll just do these little snippets, get you guys some music out there. Hopefully that leads you to go down the rabbit hole of AI music. It is a beautiful thing. There are so many people who are so against this. It is not a bad thing. It is not the big bad evil. I'm not stealing somebody else's voice. No one has ever... Here's the thing. When you go into your different uploading of your music videos and stuff like that, there's all these scans that go on to make sure that you're not copyright violating anybody. It doesn't come up. The simple fact of the matter is musical instruments produce the same kinds of sounds, and they are what they are. I'm not doing Vanilla Ice where it's like they did dun 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 dun, and mine is dun 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 dun. I'm not doing that. I'm taking and using an electronic device that can take all the wealth of instruments, vocal ranges, and all that stuff and create something that is unique to match the words that I created. There is nothing out there that's going to be a perfect match. So I'm not sampling somebody else's stuff. This is not... I hate when I hear people complain about it. I hate that AI music because all they do is sample other people's work. That's what Kid Rock's entire career was sampling other people's stuff. Eminem does it all the time. And they all... Oh, well, they pay for it. Yeah. Because their stuff is so flagrantly obvious that if they didn't, they would get copyright flagged. Mine is not. Nobody using Suno's is. The only ones that are is Timbaland because he signed on with Suno. And otherwise, it all may sound like a certain type of thing, but at the end of the day, it is not sampling other people's work. A guitar sounds like a guitar sounds like a guitar. Okay? The riffs that you hear in any of the songs or the drum beats or any of that stuff, it's not from another song. It's the ability of the instrument to produce the sound, and they have the ability, using their technology, to take all these billions probably of samples and create something. It's not stealing other people's intellectual property. The people who don't understand how it works are the ones who have that opinion. That's the reason it hasn't been shut down already. If they were stealing everybody else's stuff, it would have been shut down immediately. It's not. It's a logarithm about using musical instrumentation. And, now when it comes to the words, go ahead. Do yourself a favor. Do the prompting thing and see how ludicrous some of the lyrics are that you get back. Sometimes they make sense. Sometimes they're out of left field and have nothing to do with reality. Just saying. So, I love the AI music. I hope you guys did too, and I hope you appreciate the episode. I'll try to get you these as often as I can. That's all the time we have for this episode. Check back with us in the next episode. We run down the latest tunes in our AI database. Special thanks to Suno for creating all the music that I use in my show. Today's podcast sponsored in part by Beazle Games. Bring a new friend to family game night. It's easy with sketchy people. Showcase your artistic side in this game from Beazle Games by going to thegamecrafter.com and picking up a copy today. If you're looking for your next career move, you're considering college or university life, maybe you just need some formal training for your next career decision, go to my website at frolifeplanning.com for all your higher education needs, as Fro Life Educational Planning is for today, for tomorrow, and for life with Fro Life. I'm Fred Froelich, better known as Dr. Fro. I want to thank you for taking some time with us today. Until next time, take care, everybody. Have a great night.
You want